Today is June 2nd and a full moon. 19 years ago to the day, I made my first trip up Saddleback Mountain. I think it's time to tell this tale and the perfect day to do it. I'm not making this up. The first time I attempted this was in a Native American lair. Legend has it, his profile is in the cliff, and the hilltop is his hair. I didn't know that then when I stood right there begging God with a big G for assistance with a bad cocaine habit, because cocaine is a hell of a drug. After the wind blew healing messages through my Bible, this became a place where I would walk the dogs to have conversations with the Creator. On the apex of this hill was a cement slab with a brass ring inside of it, and it had a pyramid pointing to this pyramid-shaped mountain. Instantly, it was like I got hit with a retractor beam because the experience was so powerful on the hilltop. I had to get to the mountaintop. There wouldn't be easy access, baby, and it would take me 10 years to finally get there. Hiking or riding a bike was way out of the question with the shape my back was in, and besides, I had to spend the night on the mountaintop like Moses and Jesus. I got the idea from them. June 2nd, 1996. Rugga, Ager, and I were on our way, 15 miles through wilderness on a full moon adventure. Instantly, there were signs to let me know I was on the right path. I'm Jimmy James, bitch. Even though I was risking my life, I was happy and had to laugh. I felt like what I was doing and where I was going was supernatural, and driving my black ass 15 miles through the wilderness was so out of character for me, because normally I don't mess around with lions and tigers and bears, oh my. But this proved to me and the person I was going to go see that I was serious about this spiritual quest. After the first trip up and down the mountain, a fine dust on the car fascinated me because it had traveled so far and so fast, but it didn't blow up the car. So after dusting the vehicle with a toothbrush into a plastic film container like this one, I had to find a place to keep the dust. So with a guitar stand and some useless junk I had on hand, I started building the shrine the very next day to give the dust a place to stay and have a place to pray. The ritual began that day. I went up and down the mountain 11 times on 10 full moons, documenting every move. Each time I would dust the car and take dust from previous trips back up and down the mountain with me. In my mind, I was magically capturing energy from a pyramid-shaped mountain and storing it in a jar, over and over and over. As my mountain dust stockpile grew, so did the shrine. Even after the trips to Saddleback Mountain stopped, the shrine continued to evolve, becoming more complex and magical. See, it's talking to you now. 3 o'clock. Exactly 19 years ago, I was on top of Saddleback Mountain, screaming out. In the year 2000, there was a violent storm in Southern California, pouring inches of rain down the mountain. So my girl, her 2 kids, Rugga, Ager, and I drove to the base of Saddleback to collect rainwater from the torrent runoff. I brought back 2 gallons of fresh water before chemtrails, filtered and purified it, and have been storing it in the basement of the shrine, stacked on top of the mountain dust for over 15 years. So even though the shrine started with junk, it got expensive fast. I spent over $1,000 on crystals, glass, pyramids, brass rings, sage candles, candle holders, laser pointers, and more, because I was fascinated by this process I was going through. After the shrine was built, my mother told me, men who have had spiritual experiences on mountaintops build shrines. I didn't know that when I was building it. The next thing, taking it to another level, was when I uncovered a crop circle that was an exact diagram of my shrine. When I read the meaning of this crop circle, it was spiritual bliss. I couldn't believe it. So I extracted data from this crop circle and incorporated it into the shrine's core. Scientists have used this same formation to build a machine, and when they put current through it, it levitated. The final components, which upgraded the shrine to its present version, came to me in the most magical way. I started getting crop circles forming in England on my birthday in 2004, the same year my mom passed. It was a Mayan clock pointing to the year 2012. That same year, Mama's clock was added to the shrine as keeper of angel time. By August the 1st, 2008, I had 2 or 3 birthday formations. So on my birthday of that year, I dashed to the computer like a kid on Christmas to check the internet to see what my next formation would look like, because I was sure I was getting an extraterrestrial birthday present. To my surprise, there's a formation created in an English farm next to a turbine like the ones you see going to Palm Springs. I looked at the picture of the formation for a few seconds, then I screamed. It's in the exact same shape as the earring I was wearing then, and I'm still wearing now. This earring was given to me by a girl with the exact same birthday. What are the odds of that? Here's a picture of the crop circle next to the turbine, and here's a picture of the earring I was wearing. To this day, the girl who gave me the earring was still in bed recovering from the night before of us celebrating our birthdays. I was so happy about my ET present, I jumped back into bed and hit it again. Then we started to party all day, and we were doing it in the kids' room. When the kids are at Daddy's house, Mama likes to go and play in her room. Anyhow, I saw these strange looking electrical toys. When I turned them on, they were turbines. They were turbines of spinning light. When I asked my girl about the toys, she said, "Oh, my kids got those from a bar mitzvah last weekend. You can have them if you want. They won't miss them at all." Now here they are, rotating light generators in different directions, just like the Merkaba. Now you may be asking, what does this all mean? What's it all good for? I'm here to tell you there's much, much more. Watch The Shrine Part 2 coming to you on the next full moon. Peace out.